Good afternoon, morning, noonday, night. Hope everybody's doing well. Today's video, we're watching a Bronze D.Va. It's a good time. I had a ton of fun with it. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button. Sub to the channel if you haven't. And I hope you all have an amazing day. We're doing a Bronze D.Va game now. Here we go. Good job beating the Warrior Orb. Want to talk about this again. One thing that I see D.Va's doing is don't fly into them to do any of the boop damage. It's not going to do much damage unless they have 1 HP. This is going to put you out of position. Don't do that. Good job beating the Warrior Orb. Definitely have to work on flight control.
Raise my APM.
Okay, so this is something that everybody in rank needs to get used to. What should the D.Va do right now if there's teammates here? Sim turrets are insanely good. Now, once again, your team isn't here, except... Wait, what's happening here? Oh, they're dead, but the game has them alive still. Like the Ana's dead, but the game still has the Ana here? So I'm so confused. Okay, anyway. Now, it doesn't mean that you should here. Obviously, you're gonna get rolled here, but I wanna talk about sim turrets because sim turrets, even in my rank games, sim turrets are so good. So if like you're up here and say it's a 6v6 and you have the opportunity to quickly kill that sim turret, believe it or not, that will add a ton of value to the team fight. Anyway. Okay, now, just so they don't stagger you, remember that sim turret you didn't kill? That's a good way to reset for the next fight. Let's see what happens. No, it's still there. It's still there. But yeah, so that was fine. I mean, so far, obviously, once again, I want to point something out. Especially when we're watching some of, like, for example, like this is a bronze game, we watch a silver game, and we watch a gold game. I'm not going to really hyper-focus on the teamwork aspect, and people are like, what do you mean? You've talked about the teamwork aspect 4 times now. I can't really, like, focus on the teamwork aspect because I feel like there isn't as much teamwork, but you do want to be able to work on some of the things like flight control like we just saw. So I think so far what I've seen is your flight control needs to be worked on, what you can do in the training range by flying around, and then your DM usage, I haven't seen it too much, but we'll see what happens. Okay, this is either going to go really well, or you're going to get rolled. Okay, so we saw which option happened there. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Join me.
Now remember, you can go for the Rhine. You can go for the Rhine. Good play. Good play. That is good. I think you can kill this Rhine. Okay, so I talked about flying into people. That was a good play. Rhine was low. That's a good time to do that. But if the Rhine has 85% HP and you don't really have any cooldowns, not as recommended. So that was a good decision there to go into the Rhine. Obviously, like, it wasn't like as clean as people would like to see it, but that was a good play. So in this situation, my opinion is fly back to your team. So right there, you kind of just like, when you see damage happening, you kind of just forget about like the being with your team part, and you just kind of go into like wherever you think is going to be fine. Now, don't get me wrong. You have killed a lot of them, which is good, but if you stay with your team a little bit there, keep in mind, you're probably going to win the team fight. If you get in the habit of being with your team there, you're probably still going to get the Moira kill and win the team fight. So try to do that a little bit more, and I think you'll find that you'll survive a lot more too. All right. Slight recommendation on your D.Va bomb, try to go up in the air a little bit more with it. It becomes a little bit less predictable to see. So I will do D.Va bombs like that, but it's when I know I can kill them. What you want to do there is you want to go up in the air a little bit more and kind of let it go that way. And more than likely, you might be able to get the Ana because the Ana won't be able to react as quickly. The Ana still could react to it, but when you use your D.Va bomb, try to Here, I'll show you what I mean. That way you can see. 1 second, ready?
Come on. No.
If you're gonna do that D.Va bomb fast like that, you want to go to the right with it. But if you're gonna just do a D.Va bomb like that in general, go for an extra half of a second, I would say. Would be a good timing, maybe? Let me see. Yeah, I'd say half of a second. And aim it up a little bit higher, and you'll get a little bit more value out of that D.Va bomb across the board. Good job, D-Mech and the D.Va there. I know that you meant to do that.
Time to raise my APM.
I like you going for the sim turrets there.
Defense switch activated.
Your team never got the point? I didn't even realize that. Okay. Yeah, I like them trying to protect their backline. That was good. That was good. Like, once again, when it comes to improving, we'll talk about some of the things at the end that they can work on, but I'm trying, you know, so far, like, it's going to be more about how you position yourself when you use your flight and where you're going with your flight. A lot of the time when you're flying, you're kind of putting yourself in a position where you can't even help your team if you want to. And if you can focus on that a little bit more, I think you'll be in a good spot. So, this Orisa D.Va comp you're about to run is pretty good, by the way. Oh, never mind. We're going Winston D.Va. Still a good comp. Someone in the chat recommended this. When you fly straight up into the air and your Mercy's there, your Mercy can fly to the D.Va and then use that movement. 100%.
3, 2,
All right, here we go.
1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
I found it.
Yeah.
I don't think you ate the mortar orb, did you? Okay.
Routing power to forward shield.
So this once again goes to what I was talking about, and just this will be very helpful, like, going forward. Try to once again focus more on where your team is at and what they're doing. Like, look where they're at rather than kind of sit on the point and wait for something to happen. You see how you're kind of sitting there and you're kind of like, all right, I'm ready. The more and more you work with your team, the more likely you're going to be able to have an engagement where you're doing something. In reality, what happened was their D.Va went and killed your Torb somewhere. If you're back here with your team, you'll have a little bit better idea. Instead, you're kind of just chilling on point. See what I'm saying? It will get a lot better. Good kill right there. I do want to point out once again, like, a lot of the time you're not near your team as much as you could be, right? So remember that. Remember that you can work with your team a little bit more. You could be in the back. What the heck? There's a D.Va back here. You could be in the back, like, helping your teammates a little bit more, peeling. Because at this point, you really can't do anything with the Rhine. You might be able to get the sim, but you can work with your team a little bit more. Remember that. So you win the team fight. You win the team fight, but do you see how, like, there's multiple different team fights happening?
Activated. I need healing. I need healing.
I think the Doomfist just ran into that.
Need healing.
Good kill. Good kill. Yeah, so I already know what we're going to talk about, what to work on, because I can kind of see... I can see what's going on here in a lot of the team fights, and I think that while you're seeing, like, success in the play you just made there, if we can fix a little bit of how you position yourself every single fight, I think you'll actually improve a lot, believe it or not. Because you're taking a lot of 1v1. Has nobody capped the point yet? How long have they been trying to... I didn't even realize that. Like, I think they just capped the point. I didn't even realize that. I thought the point was already capped. Oh, wow. I did not even see that. Why do people melee? It can stop boosters.
APM will never stop.
Like when you're flying and you melee, it can stop your flight. Although I recommend getting used to. My advice is just hit your button again that you fly with. That way you have the float to it, rather than meleeing. You also can, by the way, fly and melee at the same time if you time it correctly. I'll show you after. I'll show you right after this. Did Ryan just charge for the D.Va bomb?
I need healing.
You love to see it. Flats would say that was a trade. Oh, man.
Routing power to forward shield. Fading out.
I once again want to point out to you, because this is going to be super helpful. Remember that when you play D.Va, try to focus a little bit more on your team, and then the kills will come to you, and like your ability to help your team will be there. You're doing a lot of like frontline tanking, and once you see somebody on the other team, you basically are like, I'm gonna get the kill on Ashe right here, and that's all I'm going for. And when you do that, a lot happens behind your team. But if you stay with your team and you don't try to hyper focus too much on that, you'll find that you'll win more games and you'll get more kills because of that. When you find that like in between like style on D.Va, you'll end up doing really well. So that's something I could definitely recommend. Because like I said, the mechanics will come a time. Like they will definitely come a time, but things like that, just like working with your team a little bit more, will give you more value. And you can still play aggressive. You can still play aggressive, but like D.Va has a lot of like really good utility that can help your team, and then that can also enable you to get kills. I always look at it this way: if you enable your teammates to do well, it will also enable you to do well. When you play D.Va. Good heals by your Mercy right now.
Nerf this.
Better D.Va bomb timing. It's not going to be the best D.Va bomb, but it was better D.Va bomb timing. So. Good plan, Ryan.
Enemy down.
Unlucky right there.
Need healing. Now.
Remember. Oh, never mind. Right now, I don't like this team fight has lasted for like 40 minutes, so I don't even really know where to go with this team fight. So, yeah, okay. Wow.
Victory.
Wow. Well, so here's what we do. At the end of every God review, I give you some things to work on. That was definitely interesting. There were some things in there I saw, and that was actually the first bronze game we've watched in a long time. So here's the things you can work on. One, I want you to start when you play to focus more on your teammates than what the other team is doing. And what I mean by that, it's good to look at the other team, but when you're going for 1v1s, trying to just go for kills the whole time, you're not really playing D.Va to the highest value you can get. Now you go, well, I need to go pop off and create kills. I promise you that if you're in the back line and you DM your support, like literally just for 2 seconds and let them survive, especially like right now when you're starting, when everybody's working on their mechanics, you're going to be able to not only DM the shots from Tracer, for example. Tracer's probably going to be out of position. You're then going to get a kill on Tracer, and then you can go forward in a 6v5, and, you know, it still might take 30 seconds to get the point, but you're going to win the team fight. What you're doing is you're going in and you're going, you know what? I'm just going to focus on killing Ashe, and that's it. And when you do that, you're not given the opportunity for your teammates to have that utility that you have. Their D.Va, although, you know, obviously was, you know, doing some things also, their D.Va was a lot of the time flying into your teammates' backline and doing the same thing, and then you both would be demeched and there wasn't a lot happening. So a lot of the time when you play D.Va, you want to start with remembering that you work with your team. And once again, I know that in like bronze, you're not gonna have as much teamwork, but that doesn't mean you can't be there to help your team. And then as that happens, go and make plays off of that. Now, obviously, let's talk about something else here. If your Winston's diving in, you can be aggressive with your Winston, but your teammates weren't playing aggressive. They were playing more defensive, which means that you have to kind of adapt around that play style, and you'll get better, I promise you. Talk about the other things here. Your flight control, you need to work on that a lot, but that's gonna come with time. Your mechanics come with time, right? Flight control, I would practice that. I talked about it earlier. I'll show you right now. I showed people earlier on this. Something you can do is go into the practice range and just fly around. And say you want to end up here all the time. Just do this. Fly around, work on your flight like this, and end up here every time. Just do stuff like that. Your flight will get better. Like, watch. You can just literally do this, and then you can just go up here, let go of the key rather than melee, and you can float. So a lot of people want to do this. They want to fly and then cancel their flight like that. But what I like to do is I like to just like hit the button again, because when I do that, it allows me to have a little bit more float, and I can get into the play a little bit quicker. Second of all, well, the sensitivity will come with time. My recommendation, up your sensitivity a little bit, but also I don't really... Once again, sensitivity is preference, right? With the way sensitivity is going to come down to what works best for them. So yeah, increasing your sense a little bit can definitely help. But once again, you don't have to do it like take your sensitivity from 2 and make it 25, right? But you can go up just a little bit and work on that, and then start to get that down a little bit. But like take it in increments, and I think you'll improve a lot more. Second of all, I was talking about the melee thing. You can actually fly and do melee damage at the same time. So watch. If you do it right when you fly and you melee, you have a timing. Ready? See? But it has to be within like probably like that timing right there. You do the boop damage, the flight, the melee damage, you can fly away.